Hey friends, so I have an important question for you. Have you seen Frozen 2? Yes, the Disney movie Frozen 2. Maybe you haven't even seen Frozen 1, Frozen, the original Frozen, but have you seen Frozen 2? It is so good. It's such a good movie. Whether you have kids or just go by yourself as an adult, I couldn't recommend it anymore. It was amazing. I cried buckets. And without giving away anything, one of my biggest takeaways from that movie was the importance of uncovering your past to be able to see your future, and how important it is to clear and see your past to be able to see your future. Why does this matter? Because sometimes we can't move forward. Actually, we can't ever move forward until we are clear on our past. And upon reflection on this, so this week my teacher Suzanne Conrad asked us to reflect upon people who've been important in our lives, and especially now we're at the end of 2019. And so that is such an important time in general. The end of the year is always a time I love to take a look back at the year, what I've accomplished, what I can appreciate about myself. I love the perspective of looking back on people who've been important in my life. But really also we're at the end of a decade. We're headed into 2020. And so beyond going back a year, if you could actually even now go back a full decade around people who've been important in your life. So why does this matter? Why does it matter? When I started to reflect back, there's the obvious people who have been really important to me, like my family, people I love, like everyone who's made a really big impact on me over the last decade. But when I started to look back and start to look at people who weren't maybe as obvious, I realized the people I wanted to appreciate and acknowledge are the ones who always saw me from my future self. So what does that mean? What does this mean? It means people who believed in me and could see my potential, and not only could see it, but they actually did something to help me live into it. They gave me jobs. They gave me a fitness column. They gave me a book contract. They saw that I had so much to give to the world, and they wanted to help me achieve that. And for me, if I think back to myself a decade ago, it was so important to have these people believe in me because I was not that good at believing in myself. I was not that good at believing in myself and believing in my potential. And so when these people stepped forward and gave me and offered me things and said, "Hey, Nicole, we really think that you'd be so great at writing this book." That was actually a huge thing for me to start to understand how to believe in myself. And I'm actually, these days, I'm really good at believing in myself. But it took a whole bunch of people to get me to that point. There's even some additional people who supported me who aren't actually real people in my life. I mean, they're not real people in that I'm friends with them, but I look at people like Rachel Hollis, who I'm a total fangirl, by the way. And if you haven't really followed her, if you don't talk to me regularly, you won't know this, but I talk about her podcast. I talk about her podcast with her husband, Rise Together, all the time. There is just something around the way she talks about tenacity and inspiration and following your dreams that really has lit me up. And in particular, in my entrepreneurial journey, she's been super important to me. And she's not someone I know, and I have total dreams of someday being on her podcast. But really for me right now, it's I just really appreciate Rachel Hollis. So I'm going to tell all of you that I appreciate her so much. Read her books, listen to her podcast, really follow what she's saying, because she speaks the truth for sure. There's something in her that is just so spot on. So she's someone who's actually been important in my life because she also sees a future self. She sees the future for people to be bigger than they think about themselves. And I appreciate that so much. So that's really why. It's how can we start to look back, see what it is, and see what's important about those people and how they lifted you up in whatever way. Who are these people? And then taking time to start to at least look at it so that you can start to set yourself up to end the year, to end the decade clearer, and then now move in with clarity into the new year and into a new decade. So take a moment, tag those people in the comments. I would love to know who it is who's been important to you. I'm going to take time to appreciate many of these people I've mentioned in this video because I don't know if they'll see it. So I'm going to actually go tell them how awesome they are and how important they've been in my life. And it's such a good practice. It's such a good practice to do that. So take a moment for yourself before the end of the year. Do not let the holidays get you swept away. Like, take a moment, look back, see what's important to you, see who's been important to you, and then take yourself to the next level before you enter a new decade. All right, have a beautiful day.